So, look, this is something different from what the Sports Reporters has been, a show that premiered on ESPN long before any of you were born. But you guys have millions of followers. You are in the vanguard of the new media in the sports journalism, reporting, influencing landscape. But, I'm 56. I come from a different generation. For you guys, when you talk to old people like me, or you talk to your parents who are probably younger than me, or your grandparents, how do you describe what you do? What do you tell them, Annie?
It's a tough thing that you add because it's hard to explain to people. And I specifically think about my grandpa, who's a big diehard sports fan. He played college basketball and knows sports like the back of his hand. But trying to explain where you can see our content has been the hardest thing. So I've had, his friends will be like, "How I pulled it up on Facebook," or send them the YouTube link, but they don't even have a cell phone. So trying to explain to that older generation, it's like the newspaper, but it's instant and it's informative, but it's funny. It's just hard to kind of explain that whole process to them. So I try to explain it in terms of, hey, it's a video, it's this news, it's informative but funny and all that. But yeah, it's the hardest thing is trying to explain where to find it. But I found, they are happy for us no matter what. So
yeah, I usually say I'm like a sports reporter, but digital. I don't know. I usually say digital sports reporter. My grandma's actually surprisingly really good at Instagram. And honestly, my family is pretty far removed from social media, my dad as well. But somehow they've gotten to watch all of my stuff, even the Snapchat of it all. So they find it very entertaining. But yeah, there's really no way to explain it other than here's what I do. And I think watching is the best form of how to show everything we put out on the internet.
Try to understand it. Yeah, you got to see it. You got to experience it to understand it, because if you come from the pre-digital age, it's just a foreign language.
Right. Yeah. For me, I feel like I don't explain it at all. So I'm kind of different. I'm more of like, my grandmother, like what you said, she's really big with TikTok, the scrolling, just sitting there. Cause I try to explain to them like it's modern day TV, and that's literally where I leave it. Cause it's too many questions to answer within the process. So for me, it's just explaining to them, this is work for me. This is what I'm doing. And it's entertainment. So that's kind of how I explain it. But I don't really explain it at all because it'll stress me out trying to answer all those questions.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We talk to our phones for a living. That's like we talk to our phones for a living, and somehow lands us these insane opportunities.
I mean, again, I'm not going to keep coming back to the fact that I'm really old, especially compared to you guys. But, when I was getting into the business, there were certain role models, right? There were people you could watch on TV, a Bob Costas, a Bob Lee, my father, and say, that's the work I want to do. Who are your role models? Like, you guys are again, the first generation of this. So how did you even conceptualize this, Annie?
Yeah, that's a great question because it's interesting. We're trying to kind of pave our own path here with social media. So you want to look up to people and kind of take hints and advice from people in the industry, but you're also trying to create your own content. And social media is all about bringing your own spin on things. So I'll say, me personally, I look up to guys like Pat McAfee, who kind of have this different voice that they're bringing to the industry. It's a little bit more raw, and it's the fandom back into the sport. That's what I love about my job. And I say to everybody is I can still bring that fan aspect, because reporters, and Katie knows as well, I'm sure Anthony does too, you can't be really biased when you're doing sports reporting. But the nice thing about content is you can be extremely biased, and I can get on and do a selfie video about the Packers loss and complain about it and not have to be careful about, offending the team or anything like that, because I do it a lot. But that's the kind of makes it hard to look up to people, I guess, in that sense, because you can pull from people, but you, at the end of the day, you're trying to bring your own spin on things as well. So I look to people that are creating their own path in this sports world, in this industry, in terms of reporting and on social media as well.
Yeah, that's a really great way to put it, Annie. I completely agree. I love, like, someone I look up to is Kay Adams, because she's not quite at, like, she's not doing what Erin Andrews does. She kind of paved her own path in her space, and her connection with the athletes is what I really admire. I think she's a great storyteller. So that's what I pull from her. I think Erin Andrews is just someone I looked up to as like a kid, and I still do. But I think even just looking at each other now, I feel like looking at people in the space and how we are paving this new path, and we can kind of, you know, just use each other to really keep like ourselves motivated. And I mean, what Annie does, like I've been a fan of her content forever, and it's so unique and so interesting. So I think it's just really cool to watch what we're doing as well.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the evolution of social media, like I'm a social media geek. So like I feel like I love what I do. So every day I'm looking at analytics, how it's changing. And I've been posting since Instagram's been just strictly photos, like in the back of my messed up garage doing basketball videos. So I've seen it literally transition over the course, because I was a college athlete as well. I was a high school athlete. I wanted to do sports first. So whenever I saw that there was an opportunity for a career, I was able to do a lot less than the haul of being a professional athlete or somebody that's training every day and, you know, doing these things. I saw that as an opportunity to maximize my time in different areas, you know, and just seeing how technology is developing, how different creators are coming out with different things. It's a really hybrid industry. It's really interesting because like, you don't want to be like other people. You don't want to copy ideas. You want to be organic. There's millions of people that are on the platform. So millions of people are going to post. How are you going to stand out? So I think for me, like just navigating it is just trial and error, seeing videos flop, seeing videos go viral, being on long form shows, short form shows, just trying different things out to build that audience. And for all four of us here, it's worked out pretty well for us developing that process. So it's a really long, we can go into different ways with it, but it was a dope opportunity just to get into this industry and be able to build for myself.
Why do you think you guys stand out? Well, and not just talk about yourselves, but talk about each other. I mean, so many, you know, again, in the old days, there were gatekeepers, right? You had to have somebody at some legacy media outlet or newspaper, TV station, magazine, take a chance and say, we're going to give you this opportunity. We're going to give you this platform, right? And now you guys can create your own platforms and build it. But it means millions of people are trying to find success in this space. And you are three of the very few who have broken through and have sustained it for some time. Why do you think you've been able to do it, Annie?
Yeah, kind of what Anthony just said. You have to want it so badly, and it has to be your life's purpose. And if you think about it, we're reporters, we're also entertainers though. And my genre, I guess, is comedy, right? So I'm, at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer. I want to make people laugh just as much as I want to give them the updates on what happened in the NFL that week. And I think that's a big part of it. But you also, and I tell everybody this when they get into content and they're like, oh, there's so many other people doing it. I don't think people want to see what I can bring or what I have to offer. I'm telling you, there is somebody out there that will, because there are things that I'm passionate about that I'll see TikToks on. And I'm like, oh, people have the same interests that I do. And it blows me away how many things in common I have with other people. So if there's something that you're passionate about and there's something that you're excited about, I guarantee there are other people that feel the same way. And if you just start making content, people will feel the energy that comes from that content because they know you're passionate about it. That'll show in the content. And I'm thinking that's what happened with all of us. You know, we're so passionate about connecting with people, entertaining people. Me and personally, NFL fans, I love NFL fans so much. So I can just relate to them, I feel like, when I put my content out. And I'm hoping that's what makes the content do so well, because it's genuine and it's relatable. And I'm sure you guys can, you know, attest to that or agree with that. But it's just not, we're not forcing it. We're not trying too hard. It just comes across as genuine, hopefully, because that's how we actually feel and what we're actually excited about.
Yeah, authenticity really does come through, even if you think it doesn't. I think for me, every time I've gone to so many incredible events now, and you would think after time and time again, I would get used to it, but I never do. So I think that comes across. I mean, my goal is to take my audience with me as if they're there and give them this unique angle where it doesn't feel so distant, and kind of break that bridge between the traditional media versus now social media. But I think, yeah, just you have to be passionate, like Annie said, and consistent. I think consistency is the biggest thing. And, you know, you have to be.
When you say consistency, Kate, you mean like consistency posting a lot, or consistency in terms of, you know, your persona online? What do you mean?
I would say just consistency posting. I think in terms of persona, I mean, for me, I would say my persona online is pretty like exact to what my persona is in person. I mean, obviously I don't show all aspects of my personal life online, but I think you constantly have to reinvent yourself as well. So consistency in that way, I think it doesn't apply as much to your content itself. I think you have to constantly change it and evolve it. But in terms of posting and posting on multiple platforms, I post every day and I post in multiple places every day. Maybe on certain platforms, I post 50 times a day. And so I think, you have to want it, and you can't put 50% in, you have to put 110% in, even though you are going to hear a lot of outside noise from your peers, from maybe it's your followers or people seeing your content, and you just have to completely ignore it. Because if you're not willing to ignore whatever, outside noise there is, you're not going to be able to continue at the speed that you need to.
But that's hard. You need a thick skin. I mean,
Yeah.
you really have to be able to take some of those shots, right, Anthony?
Right. Yeah. For me, what I was gonna say is she just touched on like how she posts on different platforms, and it's a beast. Whenever you get into social media, I think about it as this is the first time I'm saying this out loud too. It's like a world, country, city. So the world is the platform, the country is the person, and the city is the type of content that you put out. So if you focus on your own world, like, okay, the world of Instagram today, what's trending on Instagram? What are the sounds? What are the edits, the new edits or the features that they're pushing that you want to try, integrating it into your audience while keeping an organic and genuine connection with your audience? It's like a science. It's like psychology, sociology at a point. And I majored in sociology at school as well. So that's why I feel like I'm a nerd with it, because I always, even just in person, I have the same energy in person as I do on camera. And I dislike whenever I do shoot a video and I feel like it's not organically me. You know what I mean? And that goes a long way, because if you try to wear this mask, and you're not going to survive long in this industry, you have to be yourself. I mentor a lot of younger creators coming up, and I tell them like, hey, just be yourself. Like, if you're trying to be somebody else, you're literally somebody's coming to your page to see you. They're not coming to your page to see a trend. Maybe they want to see you do a trend, but they want to see the organic content that stems from you. And I think being in this industry for 10 plus years, I've seen a lot of creators come in, have 15 minutes of fame and dip out, fall off. I've seen people that have been here since Vine started, and Musically, and those like before, like when iPhone first came out, you know what I mean? And it's just like I said before, it's a really interesting thing, and it's just a learning curve of knowing how to operate a platform or your world with millions of people. So, just understanding that.
Your followers will know too. Like if you do a brand deal, or if you put out a video that's just a trend and it's not organic to you, like your followers will be the first people to call you out, I feel like, and then that kind of checks you and you're like, oh yeah, that video isn't really me. You got to bring it back in.
Yeah.
When you say a trend, you mean like something everybody else is doing and you're just, I don't even understand.
That is what a trend is, Jeremy. Yes, like we're gonna teach you about hashtags next.
Let's teach you. Yeah, I was gonna say trends can be a million different things, though. Let's teach them. I feel like
that honestly we need a
literally
whole session for that. That'll take some time to break down.